What's up, guys? How are you doing? Hope y'all guys are doing very, very well. I'm here with my friend Jesse. He's gonna tell you all about his struggle, some of his struggle, and how you overcome it. And this should be very interesting, guys. I hope you learn something from this. So let's go. How are you, Jesse?
Hey, what's up, man?
I'm good, buddy.
Yeah, it's glad to be here, man.
Yeah. So Jesse, first of all, how are you feeling?
I gotta say, man, I'm feeling great. I'm
That's
feeling
good.
great, man. It's been, a lot of ups and downs. Um, you know, myself, I'm a recovering addict, and I got to say, like, I wouldn't be where I'm at today if it wasn't for the grace of God. You know, um, in retrospect, I had served 6 years in prison. Um, when I was in my early 20s, I was convicted of a three-state crime spree of robbing pharmacies. I was in a police chase. It was really bad. I thought, when I was in my mid-20s, that after I got arrested, that my life was over. And it it took me keeping my faith to be able to persevere through it all at the end of the day and be where I'm at today. And along also having my wife by my side. If it wasn't for her, I wouldn't be alive today either. So, I kind of just want to talk a little bit about, you know, how, just keeping your faith with your higher power. In mine is Jesus Christ. And, I don't mean to offend anybody's religious beliefs, but,
Yeah.
just keeping my faith with God, you know, really, really has been a blessing. And, you got to take the good with the bad. I mean, of course, all your prayers aren't going to get answered. Um, for me, it was, the prayers, um, you know, I had to go through some pain, but it's temporary, but that pain, that temporary pain, at the end of the day was a blessing. And, you know, to kind of reminisce a little bit about my experience was, I was abusing Xanaxes with heroin
All right.
and
Okay. Before you go there, just
yeah.
because I want to know where this is coming from. So tell me about your growing up.
Growing up, man, I was one of those kids growing up that I only cared about, my image. Peer pressure really, um,
That's from friends or family.
yeah, friends and family actually. Everybody, when you're a teenager, you just want to fit in, and when you got parents kind of letting you do whatever you want to do, then that's a recipe for disaster with no boundaries. You know
That's
what
true. That's
I
true. That's true.
mean? Yeah. So
So everything starts from there.
yeah, man. Yeah, that's kind of how my life story
So was it
kind of,
like the internet or just straight friends influenced it?
friends, I would say, quote unquote. You think they're your friends, but man, they ain't your friends. Like anybody that's gonna let you see you destroy yourself, man, they ain't friends. Yeah,
Hmm. So after they see the demise, everyone vanish.
yeah, man. Yeah.
So 16, flashy. So what happened next?
16, man. I was in and out of jail. Um, I just kept messing up. Had a really bad drug problem, and that's kind of how my life was until I hit my mid 20s when I hit the big time with my big crime spree I had with the pharmacy robberies and thank God that nobody was hurt. Uh, I got to say that I'm just grateful, man. Just you know to
So
be
that
able to still be here today.
so
Yeah.
was it the that robbery spree, those robbery spree that have been in, was that a part of your lifestyle? A part of
Yeah,
the drug?
yeah. The the police chase, it was me mainly, honestly, just trying to. I already knew I was going to prison for a long time, so it was like for me, it was like I just gonna make the police work for it at that point. But it
Mm,
was it was definitely a scary experience. When I look back at the police had ran me into a Jersey barrier, and my left wheel caught the Jersey barrier after the third hit, and it was literally like boom every time my car, the police car hit me, my left there's this Jersey barrier on the left lane, and
yeah.
I'm in the left lane, and they got a tractor trailer in front of me, and the cop car is on the right side, so they're trying to box me in, and I knew the police were on the CB radio with the truck driver because the truck was
Everyone is trying
almost,
to box
yeah, yeah,
you.
yeah, they almost had me to a complete stop, and that's when, instead of me stopping like I should have, I I turned the wheel sharp to the right, and I
Mm.
slammed into the cop car, and I peeled off. And I was convicted of all this, and I did my time in West Virginia State Penitentiary, and I'm very remorseful for what happened, and I'm very grateful that nobody got hurt in the police chase. I'm definitely grateful that the officer did not get hurt. But it just goes to show you how stupid I was back then. You know, it was um, it was stupid, and I'm lucky to not get seriously injured out of all that either. But when I when the car hit me, the third hit, my left wheel caught the barrier, and I I literally did a somersault in the
Mm.
car and then landed back on four wheels in the median of the
Whoa.
interstate. And when I hit, the whole car just bottomed out, and that's when the car just died. I'm sitting there trying to hit the gas pedal, and I'm so intoxicated too, and I'm trying to hit the gas pedal, and man, I can't. The car's not moving, so I jumped out, and that's when
Start
it
chasing.
was bad. I can laugh at it now, but back then, I'm
Yeah,
telling you,
it's
it
good
was
to laugh at it, though. That's
man.
like that should be like motivation for you right now.
Yeah,
Looking
yeah,
back.
exactly, man. Because back then, I look at all the stupid shit I did back then, man, and I'm just like, how stupid was I? Because I'm missing out on real life.
I
And
don't think it was you, Jesse. I think it was the drug.
yeah,
Yeah, because we're seeing it right now in this society. People are going and acting crazy.
mm,
And there's a point when they're in comfort zone, it's a different person from when they're actually outside of that comfort zone. It's like they transform. And when they boots up and when they go on that pill or that drug, it's a different person.
mm,
Because that drug
mm,
comes with spirit. That's literally spirit. Because you transform.
yeah.
You're a different person, So how many time did you
Thank you.
spend in correction?
I spent 6 years in the state penitentiary in the state of West Virginia. Four of the years I spent at Mount Olive Correctional Complex, and the remaining 2 years I served at Salem Correctional Center. And both prisons really influenced my life a lot. Once I got incarcerated, I started being active, playing basketball. I did basketball leagues, I did softball leagues there. I even did a little volleyball leagues in there. Just stayed active. I lifted weights, exercised, trying to keep my mind right. I also, took the time to go to college in prison.
Yeah.
I was, a few credits shy of getting my associate's degree, but I took advantage of the resources that were available to me in there because they offered me a free opportunity to go to college. I'm going to jump right on top of that.
Of course.
You know,
Of course.
um, so I'm very blessed, very grateful that the Department of Corrections in the state of West Virginia rehabilitated you know rehabilitated me. I gotta honestly say, it's just my downfall was when I got out, I had that ego and I felt that I could use again, and that was a huge downfall for me because once you do that first shot of dope, you you're back in it again. It's that quick, it's that
Mm.
easy, and if it wasn't for my wife, I wouldn't be here. I wouldn't be alive today because she found me overdosed last year, and it was shortly after I had completed a rehabilitation program. And it was very scary for all of us because she had to see me dead, and I was literally dead.
Wow.
And you know, it, like I said, if it wasn't for her, I wouldn't be alive. She called 911, and they had to bring me back
I want
with
you to give a
Narcan.
shout out to your wife right now.
Yeah, yeah.
I want to anywhere your wife is. I want to tell her a good job.
Oh
That's
yeah, yeah. Come on, baby.
oh she yeah yeah. We got to see that.
Oh,
This
thank
is
you.
a this is a this is a it should be a woman should have her husband or a man, whichever boyfriend back.
Exactly. It was the
And
scariest thing I've ever seen in my life. Never
you can
seen.
sit beside him.
Oh, I can.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know I could join.
Yeah.
I
Sorry, babe.
never. Ooh, I love you.
I love you.
I never expected to see anything like that in my life. I never hung around people that did. Well, not trying to be like that, not
Yeah, not
judgmental, but
yeah.
I've done my fair share of stupid stuff in my life, but never once did I ever see anybody do that actual drug. Still, I haven't seen anyone actually do it. But whenever that situation happened that night, I'm so glad I came back home because I was going to stay at my friend's house. And I thank God every single day that I did come back home. Something told me to go back home. And not 15 minutes after being home is whenever he just started to lose conscious. And at that point, I still thought it was just a pill or two of a pain medicine. And
Mm,
once I saw him in what state he was in, I knew it was
it's
something
And it's
more.
more.
fentanyl, and I'm telling you, it was literally like a crumb. It wasn't much at all, and I never would have thought that tiny bit of amount
You do
would have
that.
would have killed me. Literally. And
It was very scary. The
yeah,
only thing I could think of, I knew I needed to call 911. I just got up to the chair and I was constantly breathing breaths of air into his lungs. Like I
Mm.
could feel and see him fading away.
Wow.
And I'm on the phone with 911 crying and hysterical and just constantly breathing into his lungs. And I feel like if I didn't breathe into his lungs, I feel like that helped a lot by keeping his oxygen moving through his blood and everything. I don't know if that helped him at the end of the day more or less than not, but I know for sure if any more time we're waiting without calling
Could be
911, he
worse.
wouldn't be here at all. And I'm so thankful. I mean, there's a reason why he's here. He's always been there for me through things. He's helped me out in so many ways, and I'll never, ever, ever want to ever deal with that again.
Yeah.
That would be never. I love you so much.
I love you.
I'm so proud of you.
Oh,
I'm
thanks.
proud of you too, Justin.
I
Because
appreciate it, man. Thanks a lot, man.
you got a lot of people that didn't make it this far to tell the story literally.
He
I'm
shouldn't
really
be
proud
here.
of you, brother.
And that's the
Mm.
best thing, he is here.
And she's the reason why you're here.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, she's the reason why you're here. And
Yeah.
I hope somebody's learning from this, Jesse. I want you to share. I want you to talk to somebody right now and tell them, oh, you make it out of this and how they can make it out of this, literally.
Man, just keep your faith. Literally, keep that spiritual strength. And keep practicing it every day, and try to persevere through whatever you're going through by the power of prayer. And I'm telling you, good things will come out of it at the end of the day. And it's simple as that. And the problem is a lot of us, we don't do it every day because our egos get in the way. And we
Yeah.
rationalize and we make excuses, about a lot of things in life. We want to do what we want to do. That's what it comes down to, and we have to kind of check ourselves each day, and really be humble. Have humility, and you know and that's something we all need to try to do every day.
Is there a success story for you guys? Is there anything successful you guys have achieved?
We've been through
Oh
so much
gosh,
in the short amount of time we've been together.
it has been,
It's insane. I would love to write a book
yeah.
about
It's been,
just our short time together, not only our
yeah.
entire lives, but we've been through one thing after another. Great things, bad things. Um, but at the end of the day, I mean, here we are, and I've never been happier.
Yeah.
The funniest one was we fell in love at our job.
Hmm.
I was training him on the flat top grill at my family's restaurant,
Mm.
and we fell in love. Everybody was like,
Yeah.
"Oh, this is too fast," and all this stuff, and
Yep.
we
Yep.
just connected. We were
Yeah.
so much alike. It's unbelievable. Like I feel like I've known him my entire life. And like how he says all the time, like if I knew you back in the day, da 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 da, and
Yeah, we
you
always
know,
say
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
there's a reason why.
Yeah.
Thank gosh, like God crossed our paths. I mean, it took 36 years, but better late than never.
36 years?
Yeah.
You guys been
Yeah.
together?
Oh, no, no,
No, no,
no. It
no,
took us that
no.
long to
To
finally,
meet.
yeah, finally,
How long you
yeah.
guys been married?
A year
Almost a
the
year.
29th of this
29th of
month.
this month. Yeah.
It'll be a
It's our
year.
Apart from
anniversary.
that situation
Yeah.
when you actually save his life, what is the what? Tell me one major obstacle in marriage.
Oh gosh, like that moment was this. I mean, it made our relationship a lot better. It did. I mean, of course. I mean, it made our relationship way stronger. Of course, I don't know. I can't really explain. It's hard to
Yeah, I
explain
understand.
exactly, but I had a lot of trust issues with him after that. I'm terrified
Mm.
of what he could be doing behind my back,
Yeah,
and I
that's
had
true.
very good
Yeah.
reason. Because let me tell you one thing: when a mother has a motherly instinct, or anybody can have that inner feeling, mine has never led me wrong because he kept lying to me the day after. He had kept whatever he was that whatever the crap he had in his cigarette pack. He kept it in there throughout the hospital visit. When they brought him back, it stayed in his pocket the next day.
Yeah.
And I see, like
That's
I said,
crazy.
I've never hung out with people who did that. I've never been. I mean, I've been around people doing drugs. Don't get me wrong, but never like heroin. So I never knew the effects of how long people nod out. Well, the next day we're home after his emergency visit. He's like and constantly like nodding out, and I'm like, what is wrong with you? Is this how long it like lingers? And come to find
Mm.
out, we went to work the next day and he started doing it at work. So now this is like 72 hours after the original overdose happened.
Mm-hmm.
He's at work nodding out, and my sister comes to me. She's like, there's something wrong with Jesse. He needs to go to the emergency room. And I was like, what the F? Like, I was so angry. Oh my gosh. And I was about to take him back to the emergency room. And come to find out, that inner feeling came amongst me again. I pulled the car over and I had to literally pry it out. I mean, he is a very strong person. I
Mm.
mean, he wasn't like fighting me, but he was not letting
Yeah, this
go.
is
Oh,
yeah.
and I pried it out of his hand. That's the first time I'd ever seen it, and I've never held it in my hand, of course, ever. And I just took it and I crumbled it all over the ground, like all over the cement ground. And I was so angry. The only thing that I knew to do was to call my dad. He's the only person that I can ever talk to about things like this. And he's a very good person of like wanting to help us and help him. He's
Mm-hmm.
always, been there for Jesse, even though all the stupid shit Jesse's done. But everybody deserves a second chance,
True.
and I'm so grateful. So many people are like, you need to leave him. It's
Yeah.
not too late to file for an annulment. And I was like, no, I did not promise God that I would be there for him. I mean, yes, death do us part. He did die, but I'm not. I'm not giving up on my word.
He came back. He came back.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we came back. So that promise still
This is
stands.
exactly.
Yeah.
It is a sign, and
Yeah.
and our goal in our future, we want to have a baby of our own. We are looking forward to the better things in life to come. I feel now 100% like I don't have to worry so much about like the not trusting him. I trust him, but like I've been told and taught over time, it's not just you're not. It's reassuring, I guess you could say, or verifying is the word.
Mm-hmm.
To go back and just make sure. Like if I ever suspect something, I'm not kidding. Like the other day, I mean, not saying that I was giving anything to be whatever
Mm-hmm.
suspicious of, but just to ease my mind, I'm like, okay, like, is there anything in your cigarette pack? It's just like a something weird. It's just like I'll never. I don't. I mean,
Yeah, I understand.
I
Because
completely
you're
don't.
gonna look for signs.
Yeah,
Mm.
I
You're gonna look
haven't
for
seen
signs.
anything and I haven't felt anything, and I'm telling you, once I have that feeling, I'm always right
Yeah,
with it. It's
follow that instinct.
I don't want to say I'm psychic, but I
Yeah.
literally
You know,
it's
it's just hard. You got to put the work in. You know,
Yeah,
you got to put the
it's a
hard.
work.
You got to put the work
It's
into it.
it's
You know.
work. It's nothing to be. It can't just done like.
Mm-hmm.
right.
It takes years, sometimes months, sometimes weeks, sometimes a whole life.
It's gonna be a lifetime,
Yeah,
like not
Yeah.
say struggle, but you're constantly
Well,
going to be working.
It gets
on it.
easier. It gets easier over time. It ain't a struggle. I mean, you
Yeah.
gotta eventually. You gotta learn to be happy. You know, you have to. You know, when it comes to your mental health, I mean, you have to take your medication. It's called medication management. You know, it's very important to take exactly what your psychiatrist give you prescribed daily, because you know,
that's important.
very
You
important.
guys went to psychiatrist? You went to
Yeah, I
psychiatrist?
went through it. Yeah,
That's
yeah.
very, very important because to overcome this you need strength. And
Yeah.
you cannot strength
You
you
got to
can
get your
give
mental health
yourself
in check.
strength.
You got to get your mental health in check. I mean, that's very important. Because for me, I mean that with before I was very unbalanced, you know, and you know I've fortunately, you know, been able to work with my wife, you know, and you know, her and I have been, you know, we've been doing it together and been able to work on our counseling, been able to work on, you know, our mental health aware, and you know, being aware of it, and being able to work with each other. You know, that's where the true strength comes from, and the true love, really. You know, being able to recognize it and being able to put it in check. Because I'm telling you, like once you get on the right medication, you know, as far as your depression, your anxiety, you just feel so much better, and then you know you're able to start making more competent decisions in your life, and things just kind of play out, you know, for the good.
Yeah.
You know, but it's you know it's a process. It's definitely a process. It does not happen overnight. I'm telling you, it takes sometimes a year. It might take a couple years, but I'm telling you, there is that light at the end of the tunnel. There really is.
Grass is greener on the other side.
Definitely. Definitely.
Another big thing I would like to put out there too, in all this, it's not just the person and they're healing themselves. That's very important. It's also the way their decisions affect other people and the way they feel. If it's not your kids, your family, your wife, your parents, everybody around you, regardless, it's a very big thing for everybody. And I'm sure hopefully everybody has the support that they need.
Yep.
And the backup and reassurance and the love.
That's true. That's true.
Not
That's
to
true.
give up.
Everyone, yeah, that's true. You need to overcome this. You can't do it by yourself. You definitely need supporters.
Yeah,
As your wife
definitely.
saying, you definitely need good friends, and because you can't have the same friends that actually put into
No.
this.
Yeah, you got to find new
Those
friends.
are
Yeah.
friends.
You got to
exactly.
find
Yeah.
new friends. You know what I'm
Right.
saying?
A lot of people do these things because they're searching, you know?
Mhm.
Because a lot of people think that money, things, as in car, house, a lot of people strive for these things and reach for these things, think that these things can make them happy. But happiness is something that you build. It's literally has to come from out of you.
Right. Exactly
Yeah.
right.
And it's unfortunate a lot of people don't find happiness until they crash and burn. And
That's
that's
true.
when they actually find happiness. But
Mm-hmm.
I'm glad
Rock
Jesse
bottom.
find it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he actually died to find it. He
Mhm.
actually died, and I'm. I can say I'm very proud of Jesse, and I'm proud of you saving his life,
Thank you.
bringing him back from
Thank-
death. I should
I'm
say.
thank God
Thank-
every day that
Yeah.
this
Thanks,
is
man.
exactly where he's supposed to be, sitting in this chair right now, and so am I. I feel like there's a reason why we are here
It is.
now, and the reason why he's still breathing. And I could not imagine what my life would have been like if I wasn't there, and then he wasn't here with us today. What would have happened in me and mentally in my mind? I mean, we were just newlyweds. We were married maybe 2 months when this happened at the most, and yeah, I don't know, I probably wouldn't be the same person.
I understand.
No
for
amounts
real.
of therapy could have probably ever healed me from recovering of him not being here. Like that was, and I would have done a lot of blaming myself for not being home to save
That's
him.
yeah. That part would have been crazy because he actually left the house.
Hmm.
That part would have been hard.
The
Mm.
paramedics said they had a really hard time reviving him. The paramedics actually, and I'm all about first first line responders, first responders. Like I respect their job. They go through a lot. They see a lot. But I was literally given the impression not only by the paramedics but also the officer that was there.
Hmm.
Like they were kind of looking at me as if it were like oh like
Oh, like it was your
as
fault or
if I
something.
was doing it with
Yeah.
him, as if I
Oh,
knew about it. Like that's how the response with the guy. I'll never
Hmm.
forget. Right before he shut the door, he said, "Well, this is why you don't do drugs." And then I was crying hysterically. Thank God my best friend lived in the same neighborhood and same apartment complex. So she came over and I'm just hysterically crying because I'm like, it all happened so fast and it's devastating. And the cop like knocked on the door. He's like, "You need to stop crying," and like,
Mm.
and then like
mm.
just the way they made me feel was completely wrong. Um,
Mm.
but I'm sure they don't see it like that a lot. It's probably the other way
They
around.
do. The, I think they do. The reason is because a lot of people think that people that take drugs are
Hmm.
just crap.
Hmm.
Excuse
Hmm.
my word. They think that those people are useless or those people are nuisance.
Hmm.
Hmm.
Yeah, but it's a battlefield.
Hmm.
As Jesse said earlier, once you take it one time, it's a need that it's a crave.
Hmm.
And a lot of people that don't do it, that don't actually know how it works, they think that it's a choice.
Mm.
They
It's
don't
a
get it.
yeah, it's hard.
And it's very judgmental too. That's the
It
sad
is.
part.
It
And
Hmm.
they
is.
don't understand. They've never done it or seen it before. But it's something that it's very hard for people to get over. Obviously,
Well,
otherwise there wouldn't be such a.
it's very interesting when you learn about the cognitive behavioral, the cognitive destruction that drugs and alcohol cause the prefrontal cortex of the brain. Because I was shown uh, basically, if it'd be better for me to explain it if I had a piece of paper and a pen I could show you. But let's just imagine like a bunch of little dots in like the front of your brain, which is the prefrontal cortex, and that's like where all your impulsive decisions come from. Your being able to think clearly,
Hmm.
um, your actions, all like being able to do little things, like it all comes from the front, right? And when you do alcohol, when you abuse alcohol and drugs, you're damaging that part of your brain. And they actually did a brain study on a person who was using drugs and alcohol every day, and then they did another brain study on the same person after 2 weeks sober, and then they did it again after he had a month sober, and you can see how many, like the amount of dots is how much activity is going on in the brain. And when the person was using drugs and alcohol every day, uh, there was nothing, there was barely any dots. And then as the person basically was getting sober longer and longer, there was more dots and more dots. See, a person who doesn't abuse drugs and alcohol, they have
Clearer.
tons of dots. Yeah. And then basically the study was showing how much it affects the brain, how much using drugs and alcohol affects the brain. That's basically the point of this is how much destruction it actually causes us, and we don't even realize it. You know, uh, it it's
Straight
really
to
it's
the
really
brain.
interesting. All the scientific studies that they have on addiction and the biology of addiction. It's really interesting when you actually sit down and you learn it. It's mind boggling how much it can change a person, how much destruction it can cause somebody, and you know, um, it's being able to be aware of this and is really important, for all of us.
Yeah, yeah, certainly I hope someone actually learn from this. I know a lot of people out there fighting this type of behavior, and what I want to say, there's help. There's always help, but you just got to find the right person.
Mm-hmm.
There's always help.
The resources that I've seen that he's actually went to and stuff, like there is help out there, like medical help. I mean, I know the how he explains what it feels like to withdraw from heroin. in general, and how painful it is, and it lasts for weeks. You can't work, you can't do anything. And I really respect the fact that they have these clinics and stuff that people can go to and be
In
medicated.
South Carolina?
Oh yeah, they're all
Hmm.
over
Well, I
this
probably
area.
can give a few names just in case anybody
Um,
want to name.
the medical clinic. What's the name of the? There's
Oh yeah, it's
life.
Crossroads
Cro-
Treatment Center is a good one.
okay.
There's
Coastal
Coastal Wellness
Wellness.
Center.
Those are the only
Hmm.
two that I'm familiar with the names
Hmm.
of it or whatever. But they're all over the place,
Yeah.
and they will instantly. They'll talk to you. They'll instantly give you medication to help your body not go through the cravings, not go through the pain and agony. Where
Hmm.
you can take your medication at the clinic, and you can walk out of there and have a normal day. And yes, you have to go the next day and the next day until you get the routine. And of course, you have to pass your drug test. I mean, I think they're allowed to smoke a little bit of marijuana, but I mean, as long as you're not doing all these other drugs along with it, you can eventually
Mm.
take home your medication, and that way it helps people um, function normally and have a normal life without. That's what I would think people would be. I feel like they'd be afraid of the withdrawals, afraid of the pain and not being able to work. And I highly believe that this is a great thing for people to do, is to go talk to one of these places and get put on, like, what is it, methadone or Suboxone or whatever kind of medications it is for that, for a person to heal the agony of the
So,
withdrawals from this
so the
stuff.
withdrawals is like terrible as the actually taking the drug.
Oh
Uh,
man,
it's worse than taking the drug.
man, it is so worse. It is
Yeah,
the pain and misery that. Well,
literal pain.
oh
Hmm.
man, it is
From
bad.
what I,
It basically, well, opiate withdrawal, extreme opiate withdrawal is something that I never want to have to go through again. It's literally like your skin's crawling. You have restless leg syndrome, to the extreme. You can't eat, you can't sleep, diarrhea
What?
constantly.
What?
Literally, you'll be throwing up and diarrhea at the same time. It's
Whoa.
you
for what
can't.
weeks?
Yeah, well, it
Weeks?
depends on how bad your habit is how it works. If you have a really bad habit, physical withdrawals extremely can be up to 2 weeks. For me, I even have a rare opiate withdrawal symptom. For me, is it's called istopia, I believe. It's literally like it's double vision, and when I go through opiate withdrawal, I have to literally close one eye to be able to see. It's almost like if a person's drinking. You know how you literally you could close one eye to be able to
Just to
see.
focus.
Just me going through opiate withdrawal, I go blind. I go half blind where I have to close one eye,
Wow.
be able to see, and you can't sleep. What's horrible about it is you you literally when they say like a monkey's on your back, it literally feels like a monkey's on your back. Like you can't shake it off, and your legs are just constantly flopping like a fish. You want to constantly pound it goes into your bones and it aches so bad. Your whole body's aching so bad. You literally just want to take a saw and cut off your legs. That's what it feels
Ugh.
like in your mind. You're like, I just want to take a saw and cut off my legs because you can't get comfortable. Like you lay down and your legs are just going to go flopping around. It is the worst experience. And I wouldn't wish it on my worst enemy. And that's how
Wow.
bad it is. It
Wow.
is horrible. And, it's good. Like my wife was talking about, you have, there's these, it's called MAT, which is, it's medication management treatment and medical assistant treatment, is MAT, which is your Suboxone, your methadone, and it will work for opioids. It will keep you away from heroin. It'll keep you away from it's designed to it has an opiate agonist and an opiate antagonist. Well, for Suboxone has both, and methadone is just an opiate agonist. But mainly it really help you out a lot in your recovery if you're struggling with opioid addiction. I would recommend it if you don't want to have to go through the detoxes.
Right. And that's what I feel most people was not wanting to stop, is going through the pain and function and being able to function.
Yeah.
And just calling around for him. The times I have before, the people are so very nice. They're not judgmental. I mean,
Hmm.
they treat everybody like like they would treat anybody else. It was very respectful. And literally, if he weren't to like get help, I mean, I can only imagine. Like he wouldn't be my husband that I married. I actually
Yep.
like have my husband back. I mean, I wouldn't trade it anything for the world. I highly recommend just getting help and not being afraid at all.
So those withdrawal, Jesse, is your body cleaning that's what that's what it's doing? Your body is cleaning?
Pretty much your body. Well, sort of. I mean, your body is literally, and your brain is trying to you know, be able to function again. It
Or
was
it's
so
trying to go
used to
about
your,
normal?
yeah. Well, your endorphin levels in your body are all out of whack because when you're putting an opioid in your body every day, it's basically sticking a dopamine, a rocket up dopamine's butt in your brain. That's literally what happens when you're putting a drug like that in your body every day. You're always feeling good, good, good. So when your brain gets used to that every day, always feeling good all the time, and you take that away.
Mm.
Now what's going to happen is your dopamine levels in your body are going to be very, very low, and then you're going to go under the normal um, part, the field normal. Of course, you're going to. That's why people
Start
suffer from withdrawal
craving.
symptoms, because once the drug leaves the brain and the body, that's when withdrawal symptoms occur. And like I said, it depends on how bad your habit is, and that's literally the truth. Everybody's different. Um, but the good news is it's not life threatening, of course. You may feel like you want to die. You definitely feel like you want to die, but you can't die from opioid withdrawal unless, I always said, unless you you died of dehydration or possibly a stroke or heart attack due to the high
Stress in your body.
stress and the strain. But other than that, though, yeah, now alcohol withdrawal, of course, is life threatening, but um,
But
So
there are resources that will help people get through it.
yeah.
Because over time, I'm not experienced in this at all. Sorry, but I'm just curious. Over time, taking the medications prescribed by the clinics, it will help you stop taking heroin or whatever pain medication, whichever it is. Over time, by making your body comfortable, but
Yeah.
it also blocks out the feel-good sensation. Like, say, for example, if you were to go and use one day, in that medicines in your body, you won't feel that feel good sensation from what I've learned about all this, which is still very all new to me too. But it's being that you can't feel that feel good sensation anymore, who's the only one who would do it? I mean,
yep.
and that's another good thing about it. It's not only it helps you with your withdrawals, it also helps you, stay away from it by it not affecting you the way it used to.
Okay. Very interested. Okay, guys. I hope you guys learned something from this. This was very interesting, and I learned a lot. And I want to give y'all, I want to say thank y'all for tuning in. I'm here with Jesse and his beautiful wife,
Well, thank you,
Thank
Ashley.
Ashley.
You're good.
Okay, guys. So until next time, I want to say peace and love. And if ever we got by Jesse, I'll surely let y'all know. Peace.
Peace.
you.
I love you, honey.
I love you.